All right, welcome back. So we've just made it through that first antechamber, the palace where our prayer, that raw impulse, first found a connection. But now, something's changing. The very idea of walls, of architecture, it's all just dissolving. We are ascending into the second stage, the Heichal Tanyana. And this is a realm that isn't defined by structure, but by pure, unadulterated substance.
This one line, this incredibly powerful quote from Exodus, is what the Zohar uses to describe this entire dimension. And just try to picture that for a second. This isn't just, blue sky or empty space. It's the essence of the heavens. It's a vast, totally weightless expanse of pure, crystalline white luminosity. It feels intensely alive, completely unified in its clarity. And this substance has a name, Zohar, a shimmering, conscious light that fills everything. Okay, so how on earth do we even begin to wrap our minds around this? We're going to break this celestial chamber down, piece by piece. First, we'll look at the threshold of purity we just crossed. Then, we'll dive into this luminous bandwidth, the medium itself. We're going to meet the incredible beings that process the signal, decode the seraphotic power that drives them, and then, and this is going to be fun, we'll look at this whole thing from two totally different perspectives before we see the final, incredible output. So let's think about our prayer. It started out as this kind of raw signal of human desire, of need, right? And in the first palace, it found a stable connection. It plugged into the network. But now, it's crossing a major threshold. It's moving from the input port right into the system's core processing environment. And this layer is designed for one thing and one thing only: absolute, total purification. And this is really the key thing to get. This second palace, this Heichal, it isn't a location you can pinpoint on a map. It's a state. It's a process. This is the second operational stage for our prayer's ascent. This is where that initial, maybe even kind of messy connection gets completely stabilized, stripped of all the noise and prepped for a high-fidelity transmission into even deeper, more subtle layers of reality.
So, what is this environment actually made of? What is this essence of the heavens that makes it so pure? What's the actual medium that our prayer signal is now traveling through?
The sources, particularly Pardes Rimanim, they call the very substance of this place Zohar, which literally means radiance. But let's be really clear here. This isn't just light from a lamp. No way. This is an active, a conscious, a totally refined transmission medium. It's described as this brilliant white light that never, ever changes. It doesn't even flicker. It's so specific, it even has an angelic governor named Oritz Paniel, which you can translate as the face of divine light. This is the purified bandwidth.
Now, this slide right here, this really nails our core tech analogy for this whole explainer. Look at the left. That chaotic, static-y energy, that's like the signal coming out of the first palace. Yeah, it's connected, but it's noisy. But look at the image on the right. That's what happens here, in the second palace. It becomes a focused, amplified, pure beam. This is the system's dedicated signal amplification layer. All the static, all the noise from our world just gets filtered out, and that boosts the signal's clarity and power, well, exponentially.
And this luminous environment, it's not empty. As our signal pushes deeper into this bandwidth, we start to become aware of movement. Towering beings, literally made of this same radiant light, but interwoven with these subtle, fiery tones. And they're moving in perfect synchronized motion. These are the Seraphim, the burning ones. They are the processors of this celestial layer. And the absolute key to understanding what they do, it's this number, 6. The prophet Isaiah tells us they each have 6 wings. And trust me, this is not some random decorative detail. It's a schematic. It's the blueprint for their entire operational function inside this system.
The classic text, Avodat Kadesh, breaks this down so beautifully. Let's look at the slide. With 2 of their wings, they cover their faces. It's an act of humility, right? It's acknowledging a source so brilliant they can't even look at it directly. That's their interface with the higher input. With another 2 wings, they cover their feet. This acknowledges their foundation, their own status as created beings. This is what grounds the whole operation. And with those last 2 wings, well, they fly. And this isn't just moving around. This is the active processing. This is the dynamic act of elevating and refining the prayer signal that has just entered their space.
So let's map this right back to our tech analogy. The Seraphim, they are the system's dynamic, multi-core processors. Their synchronized flight is like a set of perfectly calibrated gyroscopes, stabilizing the signal as it travels at an insane spiritual velocity. This six-fold function, interfacing above, grounding below, and actively processing in the middle, it ensures the absolute integrity of the data packet, of our prayer as it gets prepped for its next big jump.
Okay, so we've got this incredible system, a purified medium, these powerful processors. But what's powering it all? What are the divine inputs that even allow the Seraphim to do this incredibly delicate work of purification and amplification?
Okay, now we are looking at the core engineering diagram of the second palace. The power for this whole operation comes from three specific divine energies, what we call Sephirot. So, first up you see Tiferet, or harmony. Just think of it as the central processing unit, the CPU, bathing the signal in this perfect balancing radiance. Next is Binah, or understanding. This is like a decompression algorithm. It expands the prayer into pure conceptual clarity. And finally, Yesod, the foundation, acts as the high bandwidth uplink, channeling that refined signal upwards with tremendous force.
So let's just trace the data flow for a second. The raw prayer enters this luminous field. The energy of Tiferet immediately balances it. Then, Binah unpacks it, analyzes its core intention. And then the channeling power of Yesod takes this purified, balanced data packet and just propels it upwards through the Seraphim onto the next layer. I mean, it is a breathtakingly efficient and elegant system.
Now, I know this is all pretty abstract, maybe even a little technical, but the absolute beauty of this wisdom is that it's scalable. We can understand this exact same process through totally different lenses, whether you think in terms of mythic journeys or, well, network architecture. So let's have some fun with that.
Okay, so for anyone out there who's ever picked up a controller, let's look at it like this.
You've just entered the sky level, the crystalline palace. The air is shimmering with energy. And here, you don't find a new sword, you get a power-up. It's the clarity buff. It strips away all your debuffs and boosts your core stats. Your allies? They're the six-winged Seraphim, ancient guides who help attune your energy. And your objective is simple. Strengthen your signal, boost your power level, and break through to unlock the next realm.
Now, for those of you who think in systems and protocols, let's switch hats.
Let's get technical. We are looking at System Layer 2. Its primary function is to serve as a noise-canceling filter and bandwidth purification environment. The governing protocol here is signal amplification combined with lossless compression. You keep the core intent, but you remove all the junk data. The Seraphim? They're your synchronized multi-channel stabilizers, ensuring absolutely zero data degradation. And the result of all this? A high-fidelity, high-powered transmission that's been authenticated and formatted for deeper system penetration.
So, whether you see it as a gamer leveling up or an engineer perfecting a data transmission, the result is exactly the same. The process here in the second palace is complete. So, what's the final output? What is it that now ascends from this luminous realm?
I mean, just look at this transformation. The prayer that exits this place is fundamentally different from the one that came in. It's not a raw, emotional plea anymore. Not at all. It is now a focused, potent, perfectly harmonized transmission of pure intent. It carries zero static, zero interference. It's moving with unbelievable velocity and clarity, totally ready to interface with the even higher, more complex systems that are waiting just ahead.
And this really brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? The signal has been refined, it's been amplified, it's traveling at this incredible speed through the very fabric of creation. So now that it's pure potential, what can it actually do? What kind of reality can a signal this potent even begin to affect when it hits the next palace, the Palace of Splendor?
Thank you for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardis. We hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey touched your soul in the comments. We'll see you in the next chapter.